Some houses never forget the people who lived in them. They remember footsteps in the hallway, the sound of laughter in the kitchen, the soft voice that once called a child's name at night. And sometimes, when the silence becomes too heavy, those memories begin to speak. This is the story of Adam, a 16-year-old boy who returns to his childhood home after the death of his mother. The house stands exactly as it did before, same walls, same doors, same quiet, but something inside it is wrong. At night, when the world sleeps and the air grows still, Adam begins to hear a voice he knows better than his own, his mother's voice. At first, it sounds comforting, familiar, loving. Then it begins to ask for things. Then it begins to lie. What makes this story terrifying is not what appears in the dark, but what sounds like it belongs there. Because when the dead speak with the voices of the people we love, fear doesn't scream, it whispers. And once you answer back, it never stops listening. Adam hadn't wanted to come back. The house sat at the end of a narrow street, its paint faded, its windows dark, like eyes that refused to blink. It looked smaller than he remembered, yet heavier somehow, as if the years had pressed down on it. When Adam stood in front of the door, key shaking slightly in his hand, he felt like he was 12 again, waiting for his mother to open it from the inside. But no one did. The lock clicked, the door creaked open. The air inside smelled old. Dust, wood, and something faintly familiar, his mother's lavender soap. Adam froze. He told himself it was impossible. Sense lingered, that was all. The brain filled in gaps when it missed someone badly enough. Still, his chest tightened. His father had refused to return here. Sell it, he'd said flatly. There's nothing left in that house. Adam hadn't argued. He just packed a bag and came alone. The hallway light flickered when he turned it on. The walls were covered with framed photographs, just like before. Family pictures, birthday smiles. His mother always stood in the middle, hand on Adam's shoulder, eyes warm and proud. She loved this place, Adam muttered to himself, as if the house were listening. Upstairs, his room was untouched. Same bed, same desk, same glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling, faded but still clinging. He dropped his bag and sat down slowly, exhaustion sinking into his bones. The first night passed quietly, too quietly. No creaks, no wind, no strange sounds. Adam almost felt disappointed, ashamed of how tense he'd been. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to his own breathing. Then he heard it, a sound so soft it almost blended into the silence. Adam, his heart stopped. It came from downstairs. His mother's voice, not a scream, not a ghostly echo, just her, calm, gentle, exactly the way she used to call him when dinner was ready. Adam sat up slowly, every muscle locked in place. "This isn't real," he whispered. The voice came again, clearer now. "Adam, sweetheart, come here." His mind raced for explanations. tricks on him. Grief-induced hallucinations, he'd read about those. People heard voices when they missed someone too much, but hallucinations didn't sound this precise, this alive. Adam swung his legs off the bed and stood, knees trembling. The hallway was dark. The air felt colder than before. As he reached the stairs, the light at the bottom flickered on by itself. "Mom," he called, hatting himself for saying the word. Silence. He stood there for a full minute before turning back. No footsteps, no voice, just the hum of electricity. The next morning, Adam convinced himself it had been a dream. He went to the kitchen, made toast, and laughed nervously at how ridiculous he'd felt. The house seemed normal again, empty, quiet, safe, until he noticed something on the kitchen table. A mug, white ceramic, a small chip on the rim. His mother's mug. Adam hadn't taken it out. He was sure of that. It had been in the cupboard yesterday. His hands shook as he touched it. The mug was warm. That night, Adam didn't sleep. He sat on his bed with the lights on, phone in hand, recording audio. If the voice came again, he wanted proof. Something solid. Something he could show himself in the daylight and say, "See, you're not crazy." At 2:47 a.m., the hallway light clicked on. Adam held his breath. Soft footsteps moved below. Then the voice returned, closer this time. "Adam, why won't you talk to me?" Tears filled his eyes. "Stop," he whispered. "Please." The voice sighed. A sound so familiar it hurt. "I'm your mother. I just want to see you." Adam pressed the record button harder, as if that would anchor him to reality. "You're not her," he said shakily. "She's gone." There was a pause. Then the voice changed. Just slightly. "I know," it said. "That's why I'm lonely." The hallway door handle began to turn. Adam screamed. He ran, bolting the door, shoving his desk against it. His heart pounded so hard he thought it might burst. Outside, the footsteps stopped. Then came a knock. Slow, gentle. "Adam," the voice whispered through the door, perfectly calm. "You used to open the door for me. Don't you remember?" The knocking continued until sunrise. When morning came, the hallway was empty. No signs of anyone else. No footprints. No open doors. Only one thing remained. On Adam's phone, the recording was still playing, and his mother's voice, clear, unmistakable, was speaking directly into the microphone. "Good," it said softly. "Now I know you can hear me." Adam didn't leave the house the next day. He sat at the kitchen table, phone beside his plate, replaying the recording over and over again. Each time, the same result. Clear audio. No distortion. No background noise. Just his mother's voice speaking calmly, confidently, as if she were standing inches away from the microphone. "Good. Now I know you can hear me." Adam turned the phone face down. This wasn't grief. Grief didn't knock on doors. It didn't move mugs or turn on lights. And it didn't know when you were recording. By afternoon, Adam tried logic. old house, old wiring. Maybe someone had broken in. A cruel prank. A neighbor who knew his family well enough to imitate her voice. But none of those explanations fit what happened at night. At sunset, Adam locked every door and window. He pushed furniture against the front entrance and kept the lights on. The house felt tense, like it was waiting. At exactly 9:12 p.m., the living room lamp turned off by itself. Adam jumped to his feet. "Adam," the voice said gently, coming from the ceiling this time. "You don't need all these lights. They hurt my eyes." He covered his ears. "No," he said, "you're not real." The voice didn't argue. It laughed softly, his mother's laugh, the one she used when he was stubborn. "You always said that when you were scared," it replied. "Remember when you thought there was a monster under your bed?" Adam's breath caught. That was true. He hadn't told anyone about that fear, not even his father. The voice continued, warmer now. "I sat on the edge of your bed and told you monsters only exist when we invite them in." Adam backed into the wall, sliding down until he was sitting on the floor. "How do you know that?" he whispered. There was a pause. Then, because I was there, the next few nights followed the same pattern. The voice never shouted, never threatened. It spoke only when Adam was alone, only when he was quiet. It commented on small things, what he was eating, how late he stayed awake, the music he listened to. "You always liked that song," it said once, as his headphones lay on the desk. "You used to play it when you couldn't sleep." Adam stopped listening to music after that. He tried calling his father, but the words wouldn't come out right. "How do you explain that your dead wife is talking from inside the walls?" So he stayed, and the voice grew bolder. One night, it spoke from directly behind him. "You've lost weight," it said softly. "You need to eat more." Adam spun around. No one was there. His reflection stared back at him from the dark window, eyes sunken, skin pale. For a moment, he thought he saw someone standing behind him in the glass. But when he turned again, the room was empty. "You don't trust me," the voice said, disappointed now. "I want to," Adam replied before he could stop himself. "But you're dead." Another pause. "Do you know what it's like?" the voice asked quietly. "To wake up in the dark and realize no one can hear you anymore." Adam's throat tightened. "Mom," he whispered. The temperature dropped instantly. "That's not my name anymore," the voice said. Adam slept with the lights on and the door locked, but sleep didn't protect him. He dreamed of hallways stretching endlessly, doors opening to empty rooms, and his mother standing at the end, face hidden in shadow, voice calling him closer. On the fifth night, the voice changed its approach. It began to cry. Soft sobs echoed through the walls, broken and desperate. "Adam, please," it said. "I'm so cold." Adam pressed his hands to his ears, tears streaming down his face. "Stop," he begged. "Please stop." "I can't," the voice replied. "Not unless you help me." The crying grew louder. "I'm stuck, it continued. Between rooms, between places. I need you to open the door. What door? Adam asked weakly. The sobbing stopped instantly. The basement, the voice said. Adam froze. The basement had been sealed for years. After the accident. No, he said immediately. I'm not going down there. The voice hardened. You promised, it said. I never promised anything. Another laugh, this one sharp. You were 12, the voice said. You promised you'd never leave me alone. The lights went out. Complete darkness swallowed the room. Adam screamed. The lights flickered back on a second later. The house fell silent. The next morning, Adam found the basement door unlocked. The chain lay coiled neatly on the floor, as if someone had carefully removed it. The smell hit him first, damp earth and something metallic. Memories flooded back. The ambulance, the shouting, his father pulling him away while he screamed for his mother. He slammed the door shut and ran upstairs. That night, the voice was furious. You're hurting me, it said. Every minute you refuse, it gets worse. I don't care, Adam shouted back. You're lying. Silence. Then the voice whispered something that made his blood run cold. I didn't die right away, it said. You know that, don't you? Adam's knees buckled. You heard me calling you, the voice continued softly. From the basement. But you were too scared to come. Adam sobbed uncontrollably. That's not true, he whispered. I didn't know. The voice sighed. I don't blame you, it said. I just need you to make it right. Adam looked toward the basement door at the end of the hallway. The handle slowly began to turn. Adam stood at the top of the basement stairs, long after the handle stopped moving. The door was open now, just a crack, but enough. Cold air crept up from below, carrying that same damp, metallic smell. The darkness beneath the stairs looked thicker than normal, as if it absorbed light instead of reflecting it. Don't, Adam whispered to himself. The house didn't answer. That silence was worse than the voice. He backed away, locked himself in his room, and pushed the desk against the door again. He stayed awake until morning, staring at the corner of the ceiling, flinching at every sound. When daylight finally came, it felt weak, pale, like it didn't fully belong in the house. Adam knew he couldn't keep doing this, so he searched. He pulled out old boxes from the hall closet, dusty folders, paperwork his father never touched, medical bills, police reports, the kind of documents adults think children forget. The incident report was near the bottom. Fall-related injury, it said. Location, basement stairs. Time of death, 2:14 a.m. Adam's hands shook. That time was wrong. He remembered the night too clearly. The sound of something crashing. The scream cut short. His father running downstairs, while Adam stayed frozen at the top, too afraid to move. He had heard his mother calling his name. He had not gone. Adam read the report again and again. No mention of how long she was conscious. No witness statements from him. The house had remembered what the paper didn't. That night, Adam didn't wait for the voice. He stood at the basement door before midnight, flashlight in hand, heart hammering. "If you're lying," he said aloud, "this ends now." The air grew colder. The voice answered from directly behind the door. "I've been waiting," it said softly. Adam swallowed and opened it. The stairs creaked under his weight. Each step felt like sinking into something alive. The beam of his flashlight cut through the dark, revealing old shelves, boxes, stains on the concrete floor. At the bottom, the light flickered. "That's where I fell," the voice said. Adam forced himself to look. The stains were darker there. "I tried to get up," the voice continued. "I couldn't feel my legs." Adam's breathing grew shallow. "I called for you," it said. "You were so close." "Stop," Adam whispered. "Please." "I wasn't angry," the voice said. "Just scared." The flashlight shook violently. "I waited," the voice went on. "I listened to you cry upstairs. I thought you'd come." Adam collapsed to his knees. "I didn't know," he sobbed. "I swear I didn't know." Silence. Then the voice said something different. "I know." Adam looked up. The temperature dropped sharply, his breath turning visible. "That's why I stayed," the voice continued. "Because you stayed." The flashlight died. Darkness swallowed everything. Adam screamed, but the sound didn't echo. Something moved in the dark. Not footsteps, not breathing. A presence. "I can't leave," the voice said, no longer gentle. "Not until you come all the way down." Adam crawled backward blindly, hitting the stairs, scrambling upward. The door slammed shut behind him with a force that rattled the house. He locked it, chained it, sat shaking on the floor until sunrise. The next day, Adam tried to leave. He packed his bag, keys in hand, heart racing. The front door wouldn't open. He pushed harder. Nothing. The windows wouldn't budge either. His phone had no signal, just static, buzzing softly, like distant whispering. The house had closed. That night, the voice didn't pretend anymore. It spoke from everywhere at once: walls, floor, ceiling. "You can't run," it said. "You're part of this house now." "I'm not staying," Adam shouted. "You already did," the voice replied. "For years. You just didn't know it." The lights went out again. This time, they didn't come back on. In the dark, Adam felt something brush against his arm, cold, wrong, familiar. He screamed and ran, stumbling through the hallway until he reached his room. He slammed the door, but the handle began turning immediately. "You don't remember everything," the voice said, right outside the door. "Do you want to?" "No," the voice sighed. "I'll show you." The room changed. The walls faded, not disappearing, but thinning like fog. Adam's vision blurred, and suddenly he wasn't 16 anymore. He was 12. He stood at the top of the basement stairs, watching his mother fall. But this time, he didn't freeze. This time, he heard her clearly. "Adam," she cried, "please." in the memory, he stepped forward, then stopped, because something else was already there. Something in the basement shadows, watching her struggle to breathe. Not his mother, not yet. It leaned close to her face and whispered with her voice. "Call him," it said. "He'll stay." The memory shattered. Adam gasped, collapsing onto the floor of his room as reality snapped back. The voice returned, but it wasn't alone anymore. There was something else here, Adam whispered. Wasn't there? Silence. Then slowly, "Yes." "What is it?" The voice hesitated. "A thing that wears voices," it said, "and feeds on staying." Adam's blood ran cold. "You let it use you," he said. "No," the voice replied quietly. "It let me stay." The handle stopped turning. From the other side of the door, the voice whispered one final thing that night. "It wants you more than it wanted me." Adam didn't sleep after that. He sat on the floor with his back against the bed, knees pulled to his chest, staring at the door as if it might dissolve again. The house was quiet, but it was the kind of quiet that felt deliberate, like something choosing not to move. Morning came without sunlight. The windows showed gray, flat skis, as if the day itself had been drained of color. Adam checked the time. 9:30 a.m. His phone still showed no signal, no notifications, no world beyond the walls. The voice didn't speak. That scared him more than anything else. By noon, Adam realized something was different. The house felt tighter, smaller. The hallway seemed longer, the rooms narrower. When he paced from the kitchen to the living room, it took more steps than it should have. The house was adjusting, testing. Adam remembered what the voice had said. A thing that wears voices and feeds on staying. "Rules," Adam muttered. "Every monster has rules." He started experimenting. First, he left his bedroom door open and sat inside, waiting. Nothing happened. Then he closed the door. Immediately, the air grew colder. A faint pressure settled behind his eyes, like someone watching him from very close. "So you don't like closed doors?" Adam said quietly. The pressure eased. He moved through the house, noting the changes. Certain rooms felt heavier, the basement door most of all. Other places, like the kitchen and the front hallway, felt neutral, almost safe. The house reacted when he stopped moving. Whenever Adam sat still for too long, the walls creaked, the lights dimmed, the silence thickened. It wanted him to stay, but not rest. That afternoon, the voice returned. Not his mother's voice this time. It sounded older, rougher, tired. "You're learning," it said. Adam didn't turn around. "What are you?" A pause. "I'm what happens when no one leaves," the voice replied. "Are you my mother?" "No." "Were you ever human?" Another pause, longer this time. "I wore many," it said. "Your mother was comfortable." Adam clenched his fists. "You used her." "I preserved her," the voice corrected. "She didn't want to go." Adam stood abruptly. "That's a lie." Is it? The voice asked softly. She stayed calling for you. Night after night, I listened. I learned. Adam's chest tightened. You trapped her. Yes, the voice admitted calmly. The way she trapped you. That's not the same. Silence fell. Then the voice said, almost gently, she made you stay, Adam. Even before she fell. Adam shook his head. She was my mother. And she was afraid, the voice replied. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of you growing up. Afraid of leaving this house. The walls creaked in agreement. Adam felt sick. You're lying to hurt me. I'm telling you why I'm strong here, the voice said. This house was already full of staying. I just finished it. That night, Adam found the second rule. He tried to sleep. The moment he lay down, the whispering started. Not words, breaths, fragments, echoes of voices overlapping each other. His heart raced. He sat up, and the whispering stopped. No sleeping, he whispered. The house approved. At 2 a.m., Adam noticed something else. The photos on the wall had changed. His mother's face was clearer now, sharper, her smile less warm. In one photo, her eyes were open wider than they should be. In another, she wasn't looking at the camera. She was looking at him. Adam tore the photos down and smashed them face first on the floor. The glass cracked loudly. The house groaned. Pain or anger shuddered through the walls. The voice returned instantly, furious now, layered with others beneath it. You break what stays, it snarled. You unmake what feeds me. Good, Adam said, shaking. Then listen carefully. He stood in the center of the living room. You don't want me asleep. You don't want me still. You want me aware. The lights flickered. You need me to stay consciously, Adam continued. Because that's how you grow. The voice said nothing. And you need me afraid, Adam finished. Because fear makes people hesitate, makes them stay longer. A low, distorted sound filled the room. Not quite a growl, not quite a scream. You think knowing the rules gives you power? The voice asked. Yes, Adam said, because rules mean limits. The temperature dropped violently. You're wrong, the voice said. Rules mean hunger. The walls began to close in, not physically, but perceptually. Adam's vision tunneled, the corners of the room darkening. Then through the noise, he heard it. His mother's voice. Real this time. Adam, it whispered. I'm sorry. Adam froze. The house went silent. Her voice came again, softer than ever. I didn't know it was doing this, she said. I just wanted you to stay with me. Tears streamed down Adam's face. I should have gone downstairs, he whispered. Yes, she said, but you didn't, and it found us both. Adam closed his eyes. Are you still you? A long pause. I don't know anymore, the voice answered. That terrified him more than any monster. What happens if I leave? Adam asked. Silence stretched. Then it will starve, the voice said. But it won't let you go easily. And you. Another pause. I'll go quiet, she said, like I should have. Adam's legs trembled. Is there a way to end this without becoming part of it? The house shuddered violently. The other voice, the layered one, cut in sharply. No. The lights exploded, plunging the house into darkness. In the black, Adam felt hands not touching, but reaching. Voices overlapping. Names being whispered. His name. Then a final rule revealed itself. Spoken in the monster's true voice, raw and starving. One stays, it said, or all stay. The basement door slammed open. From below, something began climbing the stairs. Slowly, carefully, learning how to walk again. The sound coming from the basement was not footsteps. It was worse. It was learning. Each movement came with hesitation, like joints remembering how to bend, like a body trying to recall the rules of being upright. The stairs creaked one by one, not under weight, but under intention. Adam stood frozen in the living room, staring down the hallway where the basement door yawned open like a wound. One stays, the thing had said, or all stay. The house pulsed around him, walls breathing shallowly, lights flickering like a dying pulse. The air smelled stronger now, dust, rust, old breath trapped for years. "Mom," Adam whispered, "are you still there?" For a moment, there was nothing. Then faintly, yes. Her voice sounded thin, distant, like it was being spoken through water. "It's coming," Adam said, "isn't it?" "Yes," she replied. "It's hungry." The shape at the bottom of the stairs shifted. Adam couldn't see it clearly. His mind refused to finish the picture. But he could feel where it was. Feel its attention locking onto him. "You said it needs someone to stay," Adam said, consciously. "Yes, and if I leave, it starves." The thing paused on the stairs. The house listened. "But you'll go quiet," Adam said. "You'll disappear." A long silence followed. That might already be happening. His mother's voice said softly. Adam's chest ached. The thing moved again, one step higher. Adam backed away until his shoulders hit the front door. He grabbed the handle and pulled. For the first time in days, it moved. The door opened a few inches. The house reacted instantly. A pressure slammed into Adam from all sides, pinning him in place. The lights burst. The walls screamed actual sound this time, a deep, cracking wail that vibrated through his bones. "You don't get to choose that," the thing said, its voice no longer wearing a single shape. "You're already here." Adam screamed as invisible force dragged him forward, feet scraping across the floor toward the basement. "No," he shouted. "You said rules." "Yes," the thing replied calmly. "And you just learned the last one." The pressure vanished. Adam collapsed onto the floor, gasping. The thing stopped moving. Confused, Adam realized something. "It can't take me," he said aloud, shaking but smiling weakly. "Not fully." Silence. "You need permission," Adam continued. Fear, hesitation, staying by choice. "You can trap, but you can't claim unless I give in." The house trembled. The thing shrieked, a sound made of broken voices and unfinished words. "You're still learning," it hissed. Adam forced himself to stand. "I am," he said, "and so are you." He turned toward the basement. His legs wanted to run. His instincts screamed. Every part of him begged to flee. But he walked forward anyway. "Adam, no," his mother's voice pleaded. "Don't come down here." "I have to," he said gently. "Not to stay." The thing recoiled slightly as he reached the top of the stairs. "I'm not afraid of you anymore," Adam said. "I'm afraid for her." That stopped it. The house grew still. Adam descended the stairs slowly, flashlight shaking in his hand. The beam revealed a shape, halfway up, wrongly tall, bent at angles that hurt to look at. Its surface shifted constantly, faces pressing out and sinking back in like reflections in disturbed water. His mother's face was among them. "Trapped." "Let her go," Adam said. The thing tilted its head. "She is part of the staying," it replied. "So are you." "No," Adam said. "I stayed because I was scared. She stayed because she was dying. Neither of us chose you." The thing's surface rippled violently. "You fed on our worst moments," Adam continued. "On silence, on guilt. But you made a mistake." The thing leaned closer. "You let me remember." Adam stepped down another stair. "When I was 12, I didn't come because I froze," he said. "But freezing isn't choosing. It's being trapped." The thing shrieked again, the sound cracking the shelves and walls. "You don't get to define me," it screamed. "No," Adam said, "but I get to define me." He raised the flashlight and pointed it directly at the thing's center, where the voices were loudest, where the shape struggled to stay solid. "I forgive myself," Adam said. The house convulsed. The thing screamed, not in rage this time, but in panic. The faces on its surface began to peel away, slipping like wet paint. His mother's face separated slightly, drifting free. "Adam," she cried, "I can feel it letting go." The thing lunged. Adam didn't run. "I forgive you too," he shouted to the house, to the past, to the guilt. "But I'm leaving." Light exploded outward, not from the flashlight, but from Adam himself. Not literal light, but certainty. Movement without hesitation. A decision fully made. The thing collapsed inward, screaming as the basement walls cracked and buckled. The faces dissolved into sound, then into nothing. The house screamed one final time. Then silence. Adam found himself sitting at the bottom of the stairs, alone. The basement was just a basement again. Dust shelves, old stains. No movement, no voices. "Mom," he whispered. For a moment, nothing happened. Then very softly, from nowhere and everywhere at once, "I'm proud of you." The words faded quickly, like breath on glass. The house sighed. Upstairs, sunlight poured through the windows. Adam climbed the stairs slowly, expecting resistance. There was none. He reached the front door. This time, when he opened it, the world waited on the other side. As he stepped out, the house behind him went quiet, truly quiet. Not listening, not waiting, just empty. Adam didn't look back. The street outside, the house looked ordinary. Too ordinary. Cars passed at the far end. A dog barked somewhere. Wind moved through the trees with careless freedom. Adam stood on the front steps, breathing hard, waiting for something, anything, to pull him back. Nothing did. He took another step away. Still nothing. Only when he reached the sidewalk did his knees finally give out. He sat down hard, head in his hands, shaking with delayed terror. The house loomed behind him, quiet and motionless, its windows dark, but no longer watching. It felt smaller now, weaker, like a body after the soul has left. A neighbor approached cautiously. A middle-aged woman Adam vaguely recognized. Her eyes were wide with concern. "Are you all right?" she asked. "We heard noises last night, and the lights." Adam looked up slowly. "They're gone," he said. She frowned. "Who?" Adam didn't answer. He stood, brushing dirt from his clothes. "Can you call my dad?" he asked instead. "Please." An hour later, his father arrived. He stepped out of the car and froze when he saw Adam. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then his father crossed the distance and pulled him into a tight, shaking hug. "I should never have let you come back here alone," his father said hoarsely. Adam didn't respond. He stared over his father's shoulder at the house. The front door stood open, empty. They didn't go inside. The house was sold quickly. Too quickly. The buyer didn't ask questions. Old houses always found people willing to ignore their histories. Adam moved away with his father. New town, new school, new walls. For a while, things were quiet. Too quiet. Adam slept again, but his dreams were shallow. He woke often, heart racing, expecting to hear breathing that wasn't his own. Sometimes he swore he could still feel the pressure behind his eyes, the sense of being watched, but it never lasted. Weeks passed, then months. One night, Adam woke suddenly at 2:14 a.m. He sat up in bed, heart pounding. The room was dark and still. No voice came. Adam waited. Nothing happened. He lay back down, breathing slowly. "It's over," he whispered to himself. But endings are rarely clean. At school, Adam began to notice things. Certain rooms made his skin crawl, classrooms where no one spoke, hallways where sound seemed swallowed. He avoided elevators, avoided basements, avoided places where people lingered too long without moving. He learned something important. The thing hadn't been unique to that house. It had just been well fed there. Adam started researching quietly. Old news stories, forums buried deep online, accounts dismissed as grief or mental illness, people hearing voices of loved ones in empty places, houses where occupants never quite left, buildings where tragedy had been followed by silence, then by staying. Always the same pattern: loss, guilt, stillness. staying. One evening, Adam asked his father something he'd been afraid to voice. "Why didn't you ever go back into the basement?" he asked softly. His father stiffened. "I tried," he said after a long pause. "But every time I reached the door, it felt like if I went down there, I'd never come back up." Adam nodded slowly. "It wasn't just me," his father continued, voice breaking. "The house made it hard to leave her, even after she was gone." Adam looked down. "It feeds on that," he said. His father didn't ask what he meant. Years passed. Adam grew older, stronger, quieter. He studied psychology, not to explain the thing away, but to understand the human parts it used. Fear, attachment, hesitation. How people linger in pain because moving on feels like betrayal. Sometimes Adam helped, not directly, never dramatically. When he heard someone talk about a place they couldn't leave, he listened. When someone said a house felt wrong, he believed them. When someone hesitated, stuck between past and future, Adam encouraged motion, any motion at all. "Don't stay too long," he'd say. "Nothing good grows in stillness." One winter night, many years later, Adam stood outside a condemned building scheduled for demolition. The air around it felt familiar, tight, heavy, listening. He closed his eyes. "I'm not yours," he said calmly, "and no one here is choosing to stay." The pressure faded. The building collapsed the next morning. Adam walked away. Sometimes late at night, when the world was very quiet, Adam thought he heard a voice, not calling, not pleading, just present. Not from the walls, from memory. "I'm proud of you." It never asked him to stay. And Adam never answered, because he had learned the most important rule of all. The dead don't need us to stay. Only the hungry do. Adam lived. The places that fed on staying grew weaker without him. And the house was just wood and nails now. Finally empty, finally silent. Some horrors don't chase you. They don't scream or show their faces in the dark. They wait. They wait in quiet houses, in empty rooms, in the long pauses between grief and healing. They learn the voices we miss the most. They whisper what we wish were true. And they grow stronger every time we hesitate to move on. This was never just a story about a haunted house. It was about staying in guilt, staying in fear, staying in places where pain feels familiar. Because leaving feels like loss all over again. Adam survived because he learned what the house wanted and refused to give it that final thing, himself. Not every place that feels wrong is evil, but every place that begs you to stay forever is dangerous. So if you ever find yourself somewhere that listens too closely, somewhere that speaks with a voice you loved, somewhere that makes leaving feel impossible, remember this: the dead don't need you to stay. Memories don't need you to suffer. And love does not live in silence. Walk away, because the moment you choose to leave, the hunger loses its power, and some doors, once closed behind you, should never be opened again. The end